Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Tuesday, December 3rd. Azeez Al-Shaair, we got news on the suspension. We're going to talk about that. Talk about the Jaguars also being eliminated from playoff contention, what that means for the Jags, what it means for the channel, all that good stuff. Really appreciate y'all being here. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. So Azeez Al-Shaair has been suspended by the NFL. 3 games for Al-Shaair. You know, I do want to say this. D'Amico Ryan's coming out and supporting his player. Is that the right thing or the wrong thing in this situation? I don't know. I mean, I feel like you have to support your guys, even if you know you're wrong, in a way. To call out the Jaguars the way he did and say that they were the ones in the wrong, you know, the way they reacted to it, I thought that was completely unnecessary from the Texans head coach. I think he's wrong, bottom line. Again, whether or not he should be defending Azeez Al-Shaair the way he did, tough to say. But, you know, like everybody in the media who has defended that hit, all the Texans fans out there who have defended that hit, everybody on that side of things, completely wrong. That type of play does not belong in the NFL. You have a player with a history of violent hits outside of the rules of the game, grabbing Tom Brady's throat, hitting guys out of bounds, swinging at opponents, right? You can't sit here and tell me that that was not ill intentions towards Trevor Lawrence, who slid. Okay. And you know, people are out here saying, well, it was a bang-bang play. It wasn't, for one. Like, Trevor Lawrence was sliding way before Azeez Al-Shaair left his feet. For two, if you think that you're hitting a quarterback who's upright, you're swinging your elbow at his leg to try to tackle him? No. No. There is no defending that play. After a quarterback slid, an opposing defender took his elbow, his forearm, that was all, you know, geared up with extra padding, and forcibly slammed it into the face of an opposing quarterback who was sliding, who gave himself up. There is no defending that play. There isn't. And, you know, don't just take my word for it. A scathing letter from NFL Vice President of Football Operations, John Runyon, a former player. All right, let's read this here together. During your game, this is a letter to Azeez Al-Shaair. During your game against the Jacksonville Jaguars on December 1st with 4:20 remaining in the second quarter, you were involved in a play that the league considers unacceptable and a serious violation of the playing rules. Video shows you striking the head/neck area of Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence after he clearly goes down in a feet-first slide. You led with your forearm and helmet and delivered a forceful blow to the head/neck area of your opponent when you had time and space to avoid such contact. After the illegal hit, you proceeded to engage in a brawl, which you escalated when you pulled an opponent down to the ground by his face mask. After the referee announced that you were disqualified for the hit and your unsportsmanlike acts, you removed your helmet and re-engaged with your opponent while walking down and across the field, which started another physical confrontation near the end zone. Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and all those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL. Your continued disregard for NFL playing rules puts the health and safety of both you and your opponents in jeopardy and will not be tolerated. That's as strongly worded as it can possibly be. This was not a play that is acceptable. This was not a play that is within any sort of bounds of what should be on the field in the NFL or any other place that you're playing football. college, high school. It does not matter. That was an unacceptable play. Should it be more than 3 games? I've already said I think it should. I don't think that he should be back on the field until the 2025 season. Yeah, 3 games means something. It does. I know the Texans won't be happy about it. Azeez Al-Shaair, who half-ass apologized, won't be happy about it. Said he had no ill intentions. He never does, which is complete BS. Again, what John Runyon said. Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and all those who play is troubling and does not reflect the core value of the NFL. Your continued disregard. So the NFL is acknowledging this was not the first time they feel like he clearly overstepped his bounds. So yeah, to me, it should be the rest of the season. I don't think he should play in the playoffs, and they're probably going to make the playoffs. Yeah, he should be done for the year. But at least you get that strongly worded letter. At least you get the 3 games if you're a Jaguars fan that's out there just looking for blood. Texans, Azeez Al-Shaair, D'Amico Ryans, they're now public enemy number 1 in Jacksonville, bottom line, for Jags fans. I mean, that's been made clear. For a long, long time, it's been the Tennessee Titans. I think that has now shifted. And look, the Texans, as an organization, they have been better than the Jaguars when those 2 teams face off since they, were established back in the early 2000s. It's been a little more even the last couple years. But I think the Texans are now absolutely going to be public enemy number 1 in Jacksonville. And, I will say this. I haven't talked a ton about it. I mentioned it a couple times talking to Hacker yesterday. He brought it up, and I agree. You probably should have seen some stronger language from Doug Peterson supporting his guys and going after the Texans guys afterwards. Not physically, but, in these press conferences. It sounds like he's playing the politics game. D'Amico Ryans isn't. D'Amico Ryans is standing up for his guys. John Runyon, the VP of football operations, is not mincing words. And Doug Peterson has said, that play doesn't belong. But to me, he probably should have defended Jarian Jones a little bit more than the rest of the guys. He probably should have had stronger words for Azeez Al-Shaair and the Texans. But it's not going to matter for too much longer, honestly, from the Doug Peterson front. And no word yet about Trevor Lawrence playing the rest of the way. We did speak to Doug Peterson yesterday. And Doug said Trevor's going through the concussion protocol. He's doing well. Trevor Lawrence tweeted out, thank you for the prayers and well wishes and all that stuff on Sunday evening, that he's doing better. And so I think Trevor's going to be okay. Obviously, the shoulder is still something to look at and figure out what you're going to do there. But after he clears the concussion protocol, which we don't know how long that will take, we've seen guys get through it in a matter of days. We've seen it take, more than a week before. We've seen it take a couple weeks. So we don't know. But we don't know how long Trevor will be out, if he will play again this season. I've already told y'all I think that whatever it takes to get that shoulder fully healed, at this point, I think that's what you need to do before you need to worry about getting back out on the field and playing with the guys. Going to talk about the Jaguars being eliminated from the playoffs. First, got to remind y'all to check out Underdog Fantasy for Pick'em and a whole lot more. You can use code Duval Daily, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash Pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit on their easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. This season, Underdog is running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Like Profit Boost, you can pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. There will be tons of options coming up in the NFL slate this week. You've got the Jaguars as well. Maybe you want to take a running back to score. I don't know. Maybe you want BTJ to score, whatever it may be. If you do want to pick a running back, Underdog has vulture protection to rescue your pick'em if your running back gets vultured. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Duval Daily to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus, 90 plus Alabama, Nebraska, 90 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org. Arizona 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. If you're supporting them, you are supporting us, and they do have the best product when it comes to pick'em and a whole lot more out there. So, Jaguars eliminated from the playoffs. The Broncos won last night. So the Broncos now have 8 wins, I believe. Pull up the NFL standings here. Yeah, they had 7 wins going into it, and they were the 7 seed. 7 teams make the playoffs in each conference, right? So, yeah. The Broncos, who currently are the 7 seed, have 8 wins. So do the Ravens. So do the Chargers. Then you've got your 4 division leaders. The Jacksonville Jaguars are officially eliminated from playoff contention, which, whether it was official or not, did not really matter. But it does matter for Jaguars Happy Hour, for Tony and Pete and the guys over there. They can officially start talking about the draft and free agency, which is good news for everyone because it is time. We have already been doing so here on this channel. It was inevitable. It's now time for Shad to start turning the page. Shad Khan figuring out the exit plan for those in place in the coaching staff, front office, figuring out that exit plan, exit strategy, and then starting to put together a search committee. He needs a search committee. What he has done has not worked. He needs a search committee, people who have done this at a high level in this sport. He needs help. He can't make this decision on his own. In fact, I know he's the owner. I think he needs to have strong recommendations from a search committee of professionals before he makes a hire. And I think he needs to take that recommendation and probably follow it. Right? Whatever it has to be. It's time. You know, the Jaguars are 2-10. They currently hold the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Shad Khan said this was the best team in Jaguars history. And they are now 2-10 with the worst record in the NFL. Currently hold the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Too much talent for this to happen. Now, of course, the Jaguars have been very injured the last 2 years, but it's not an excuse. You know, the way they started this year was inexcusable. And a lot of it came down to coaching, in my opinion. And of course, we've talked about the roster management issues the Jaguars have had over the years during Trent Baalke's reign. Bottom line, Trent Baalke is a failed general manager in Jacksonville, and he was a failed general manager in San Francisco. It's time to go. Like, I don't even have to get into all my arguments. There's only one argument that matters. Look at his record as a GM. Look at the fact that the Jaguars are now in line to have the first overall pick for the 3rd time in 5 years under his watch. Unacceptable. So everybody's got to go. They got to clean house. You don't have to sit here and nitpick and figure out what the issue is. They're all the issue. Right? You got to get some people in here who are going to design an offense that suits the skill sets of the players they have. A front office that's going to do their best to highlight what the coaching staff needs via the draft, via free agency to be successful, to support Trevor Lawrence better. That's what you need. And so Shad Khan's got to take those steps to ensure that that happens. Because the Jaguars are eliminated from the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. Very disappointing stuff. December 3rd. Let me know how y'all feel about the Azeez Al-Shaair situation, about the Jaguars being eliminated from the playoffs. And again, we are moving forward. So we are going to be looking at free agency. We are going to be looking at roster management. We are going to look at the coaching search. We are going to look at the general manager search. We've already started doing those things. That's what we're going to continue to do. We will talk about the games a little bit here and there. Probably do little game preview, little game recap. That's not what y'all are looking for the most part. Like, as I can tell, you don't want the game balls video when the Jaguars lose, right? You don't want in-depth analysis of matchups and all that. Like, it's clear based on the feedback we're getting, you want to talk about the future. And quite frankly, so do I. So that's what we're going to be doing for the most part here for the rest of the season. Really appreciate y'all's support. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear, become a channel member here on YouTube. Y'all have a good one.